Happy launch day, everybody. We're unboxing the Nintendo Switch 2. It just came out. I want you to enjoy this with me. What is inside? Ooh, all right. Let's start with the Joy-Cons. We got our blue Joy-Con. We got our red Joy-Con. Ah, that's so good. That's so nice. It doesn't smell like anything at all. And our tablet. Look at that. Super glossy screen. Can you see? Oh yeah. Super smooth, super glossy. On the back of it. Matte black finish, good. Oh, okay, and the stand. The stand resists a little bit. It stays tight where I put it. It doesn't flop around. That's nice. It feels much stronger than my Switch 1 stand. Ooh, that's good. Look at that. It's a little heavier, and the screen feels larger in my hands. I don't own an OLED Switch, so I don't know how to compare that to this, but I have the original, and this feels much more substantial. Let's take a look. All right, here's where the game cards go. Oh, that's a different mechanism. That slides out and almost presses the game in. Oh, cool. We got our on, we got our volume buttons. Oh, thank goodness. We have a charging port up on top. We have a charging port on the bottom. That was one of my big gripes with the original Switch, was trying to charge it while I was playing in handheld mode. Some cords and cables. All right, HDMI cords. Cool. A little bit of manual. I'm glad they didn't charge me for this manual, unlike the welcome tour. Ah, the wrist straps for the Joy-Cons. Good. That looks and feels great. I like that so much. So smooth, super smooth. The matte finish on here feels great. Satin, it just glides. The thumbsticks glide. Again, comparing to the original Switch, it's larger. The thumbsticks have a little bit larger pad. The buttons are a little bit larger. I'm a fan of this. I like where this is headed. We got a Joy-Con grip. This is not a charging grip, this is a standard type, and ha ha ha. Oh, that's satisfying. Okay, so the design is a little different from the Switch 1 grip. Let's compare these real quick. Switch 1 wraps around a little bit more, whereas the Switch 2 is flat. Switch 1 is smaller. They still have the same flat sides that you connect to. On the Switch 1, it is all about sliding in. On the Switch 2, that satisfying snap. Ha! Can you hear that? Can you hear that? That's so good. I enjoy that. So this strikes me as similar, but maybe a bit better. Kind of an improvement on the same design. It's an upgrade. It's a move up. It really is. This feels like where it needed to go and still remain a Switch product. What do we got? A couple more cords. We got the power cord. Nice. It's USB-C based. And last but not least, we got the dock. Ah, all right. Once again, a fairly subtle logo in there. You see it better at some angles and not so much at others. Okay, cool. It's entirely black, matte black finish. We got rounded sides on the back. We got rounded corners on the front, though it's entirely flat. Okay, very cool. On the bottom, we're vented. All right, and I want to open it up. What's underneath it here? Okay, it snaps in. It's got little plastic catches. Great. And there's the connectors. Your HDMI, your power USB. Yeah. You got your LAN port on this one now too. All right, to get it back in, put those in first and then snap that. Nice and easy. I don't want to force it. I could see somebody not knowing how to get this back in and forcing it and maybe taking off one of these nubs. Use care when you're putting it back in. Bottom first and then the top. Let's put it in. That's the Switch 2 experience right there. Super nice. Through and through, the Switch 2 system has a premium feel. From beginning to end, everything feels more well thought out than the original, and I like it. I like it a lot. I'm looking forward to starting it up and playing a couple games. Mario Kart tops my list. I think we'll get into that soon. All right, let's hook the Switch 2 up to a TV. Now, I've got this one just for illustrative purposes. It's not an amazing TV or anything, but it gets the point across and it fits on my desk. Connect the cord into the power supply. This is going to go right into my outlet. This one goes on the back. Then we get the HDMI cord going. I guess we're doing the initial setup. Walking through the initial setup was really easy. I mean, it was just go from one menu to the next. I just followed instructions and it all went smoothly. Pick my region, set up my wireless network, etc., etc. As expected, it had to download some updates, so I passed the time by playing with my new amiibos. Is anyone surprised that Riju won the battle? After the updates, it restarted. And then it directed me on how to transfer my data and my accounts from the old Switch to this one. It involved swapping some micro SD cards back and forth, but it really wasn't hard. I just followed the instructions and did what it said. Within a matter of minutes, my accounts had transferred over, my photos and videos had transferred over, and game data, including saves, transferred over. My main account with the Nintendo ID associated with it stayed on the old Switch and was copied to the new one, but all the accounts that had no Nintendo ID completely transferred over to the new Switch 2, and they did not stay on the old Switch 1. There we are. The initial setup did take a little bit of time, but it was worth doing. It would have gone much faster if I had nothing to transfer over, but I was happy to transfer everything. It worked smoothly. I took a browse through the virtual game cards and decided it's better to learn that stuff later. Frankly, I want to keep it simple for this video. That's what it looks like, but let's move on to the physical cartridge. Mario Kart World. Yes, finally. This is the reason that I bought this system. Big Mario Kart fan going all the way back to the Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 days. Alright, so we pop in the cartridge and we get to download an update. Of course we do. A couple minutes later, we're in business. Look at that. The screen is bright and beautiful, vibrant. The colors are amazing. I can say with total confidence, Mario Kart has never looked this good before. Oh, this is nice. Okay, enjoy watching me bumble through my first race on Mario Kart World while I go over some of the most frequently asked questions on this Nintendo Switch 2 system. First off, can I play Nintendo Switch 1 games on the Nintendo Switch 2? Answer is yes. In almost every case, you can. Though some games are not fully optimized or fully compatible, I wouldn't be surprised if the compatibility is added later on. Some games look better on the Switch 2. They have free update packs, and then there are other games that require a paid upgrade pack to look their best on the Switch 2. The screen size is 7.9-inch diagonal. It's 1080p resolution with 120Hz refresh rate and supports HDR. Without all the tech jargon, that means it's nice and big, and it looks amazing and runs super smoothly. The battery life is between 2 and 6.5 hours, just depending what you're doing with it. Using games that are more graphically intensive will eat up the battery quicker. I found that Cyberpunk and Mario Kart both tended to run through the battery fairly quick. The storage capacity of the system is 256 gigabytes, but you gotta remember there will be future system updates, so don't plan on spending all that storage space just on games. I bought an SD card for it and fully expect to be using a lot of that. Does this system support 4K display? Yes, absolutely, in docked mode, not handheld mode, and with compatible games and compatible TVs. What about Joy-Con drift? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, right? Okay, so the physical cartridges are not hard to figure out, and the downloads aren't hard to figure out, but what about those game key cards? I know this is a divisive topic, but with my physical cartridges, I'm already downloading updates for most of them, so they're not a complete game on the cartridge, not like the old days. The game keycards just kind of push that a bit further, and instead of downloading an update, you download the whole entire game. What I like about that is if I don't care for the game and I don't want to keep it in my collection, I can still sell off the game key cartridge and get my money back mostly. Unlike downloads, where if I didn't like the game, I'm stuck with it. And as long as Nintendo still allows that game to be downloaded from their servers, then whoever buys my cartridge can just download that game from Nintendo and play it themselves. But that'll almost certainly have some kind of a sunset date, very much like the 3DS and the Wii U experienced. My concern is that someday the keycards will expire and be no good to much anybody who hasn't already downloaded the game. If you've got an opinion on that, you're welcome to share it in the comments, just keep it friendly. And then what's up with the virtual game cards? They're different from the game keycards. A virtual game card is a digital version of the game that you can loan to somebody else without having to hand them the physical cartridge. And it's for a limited time period of 2 weeks. I cannot use the game that I've loaned out to somebody else during that time period, though. It's as if that game is no longer in my possession for those 2 weeks. What about the game chat function? On the controller, there's a small C button. I can press that and activate a game chat if I have a USB camera, and I can chat with friends across the internet while we're both playing the same game or different games. It's free to use until the trial period ends in 2026, at which point I'll need a Nintendo Switch Online subscription to use it. It supports up to a total of 12 people at once. Thanks for watching, hope you liked it. Remember to sub up for more reviews and unboxings.